I don't know who needs to hear this today, but I am talking to the person who is overthinking, overanalyzing, who is a bit of a perfectionist and has been just overanalyzing everything to the point that they have lost momentum near or entirely. So in this video, I'm going to share 2 valuable things that I have learned that has helped me get back up and out of the rut. If you don't know me, my name is Rochelle, and I am a new content creator. I have not been consistent in the slightest. I started college again this semester, but we're not going to get into the excuses. Okay, this season is about making time for your purpose and your calling. So I'm going to share my story, and trust me, this has everything to do with this. But like I said, I've been struggling with being consistent with YouTube, mainly because I have been waiting for this perfect feeling, or just waiting until I have all of the resources. And one thing that God has been bringing up to me lately is Ecclesiastes 11 verse 4. And it says, "He who watches the wind will not plant, and he who regards the clouds will not reap." This verse is always brought up to me because I have a bad habit of wanting to feel ready and not trusting the process. And this verse literally points out exactly my situation, and I know many other people's situations, of wanting to wait for the perfect timing. You guys, life is never gonna slow down. You literally have to carve out time. Perfection will kill your authenticity and your momentum. So tip number 1 that I have for you guys is you need to know your why. Because passion without purpose is just a phase. I literally cannot tell you guys the amount of projects, the amount of videos that I've recorded, the amount of things that I have started and never finished is insane, because it starts off with a little spark. When you don't know your why, it is so hard to finish. When there is no purpose, when you don't know your why, it is like almost impossible to keep going. And maybe the reason why that I have been so stuck is because I valued having and knowing all the steps ahead of me rather than just trusting God with my future. And something I'm realizing lately is that your what ifs is what's going to kill your dreams. Every time you question, what if this happens? What if whatever? It's going to kill your dream. Do not worry about the future. Put your trust in God's hands. And really good questions that has helped me is, how can God use this? Or who am I doing this for? What do I hope to get out of this? These questions are so incredibly important, and honestly has helped me find my why and the purpose and why I'm doing this. And the one thing you want to look out for is that you have to have these answered before the devil comes and attacks you, because he's going to ask you these very same questions and you're going to have them unanswered, and then that's going to lead to confusion and doubt, which eventually leads to lost momentum. And doubt is going to do one of the 2 things. It'll either make you too afraid to try again, or it's going to make you question why you ever started. The one thing that God absolutely doesn't need from you is you being perfect. He does not need you to know every step of the way. He will lead you every step of the way. So that is not your job, to know every step. So the question is, are you willing to trust him even if it fails? Because this is the one thing that has helped me keep going, is that God can work with your failures, but he can't work with nothing. If you choose to sit and be afraid and not move, he can't work with that. He can work when you take that leap of faith. You don't have to be certain in everything you do. You just have to try. And an awesome verse that I actually just found, I love this verse so much because it is so true. It says, "For a dream comes with much busyness and painful effort, and a fool's voice with many words." And I believe that was Ecclesiastes 5 verse 3. You can check me on that. But if you are ever feeling stuck, your why is what's going to keep your heart alive when the work feels heavy. Pursuing your dream is going to take so much work. Like, when I started my YouTube channel, I had no idea how hard this was going to be. Like, I genuinely thought I could just hit record and start talking. Absolutely not. I have to script my ideas, make sure that, you know, I don't even know. It's a long process. But I created this map of how perfection can kind of root itself and eventually lead to a lost dream. And so that is, perfection obviously equals overwhelm, and then that overwhelm can equal lost momentum, and that lost momentum can lead to doubt, and then the doubt can lead to a lost dream. So you see, perfection causes a chain effect, and we don't want that to happen here. So my second tip, which is so important, and I love this one so much, and I learned this from my church, and one of the things that will help you keep going is remembering God's promises. These are promises made by God. He cannot break these. So Philippians 4 verse 13 says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Focus on how it says all things. Christ will strengthen you in everything you do if you just put your faith and trust in Him. A part of faith is having uncertainty. You can't know every step of the way. So you just have to trust and put it in God's hands. And then the second promise is Philippians 4 verse 19, and it says, my God will supply all your needs according to His riches. It says all of your needs, every single need. Not a single need is going to be left out. God will provide. Child of God, He cannot break this. He is not going to send you on a journey without having enough. And then the third promise that I'm going to give you guys is Philippians 1 verse 6, and it says, he who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion. So these are God's promises to you. And when God promises something, He can't break it. So remember His words whenever you start to lose momentum, because He is not done with you yet. He did not send you on this journey just to send you on a journey. There is purpose in everything. You still have dreams to chase, and you have to trust God's plan. I pray that this helped y'all. I know it did for me. And I just hope that you guys cherish God's promises. Look back on them every time you start to lose momentum. And yeah,